Hi there, Eric Goll here. I want to share with you a personal story about my sister, Sarah. When she aged out of high school, we were told the only thing available for her was a day program. That was the next step. Honestly, it was the only choice presented to us as a family, and it created a really difficult 10 next years for my sister and for my family, and I want to help you create better for your loved ones. So by the end of this video, you'll understand why disability-only day programs create isolation. I want to talk about what real inclusion actually looks like and the first steps you can take to help your loved one move towards a more meaningful and connected, fulfilling life. So Sarah was in that day program system for really about 10 years. And when I visited Sarah in that day program and looked around, everyone had a disability. The activities were coloring books, simple crafts, and watching a movie in the afternoon. It was really nothing empowering. Nothing connected my sister to the broader community, and there was no clear path to building capability, to building skills, to getting a volunteer role, to employment, or to having a fulfilling day, to independence. And because everyone around her also had a disability, the message was really that this is the only place for you. You're different because you have a disability and you need to be in a separate place like this. And we didn't know any better as a family at the time. And Sarah spent more than 10 years in settings like this. But here's the truth that I later learned, that when people with disabilities are gathered together and separated from the rest of community, that's segregation. The name of whatever that place is doesn't matter. It could be a day program, a social group, it could be special recreation. If everybody in the room has a disability, except for the people that are paid to be there, that's not inclusion, that's isolation. And the data backs this up. More than 57% of adults with intellectual or developmental disabilities spend their weekdays in segregated facility-based programs. This was research done by the Institute for Community Inclusion in 2022. Another study done by National Core Indicators in 2023 showed that over 70% of people with developmental disabilities spend no time with people without disabilities outside of paid staff. And this is not the life most families want for their loved one. Let's talk about what real inclusion actually means. Inclusion is not being in a room just with other people with disabilities. It's not going on outings with other groups of people with disabilities plus paid staff. Those are still forms of segregation dressed up with kinder language. Real inclusion means your loved one participates in ordinary community life alongside people who don't have disabilities, that aren't necessarily paid people. It means being known and welcomed as a neighbor, as a coworker, as a volunteer, as a classmate, as a gym member, or as a friend. It means joining the rhythm of everyday life that we all get to enjoy in the community, which is libraries, gyms, coffee shops, workplaces, places where you can volunteer, hobby groups, faith groups, and other places where people naturally gather in ordinary settings. And when our loved one is a part of that, it means they belong. For my sister, there was this turning point because once we understood this, we shifted our thinking and started creating a new weekly rhythm for Sarah. We started finding opportunities for Sarah to volunteer at the YMCA beside other community members. She joined a regular gym with support, with paid support that helped her to find her place in that gym. And then now she's actually going to the gym a couple times a week all by herself, which we never thought was possible before, but she's doing it. She's found new hobby groups. She's engaging in ordinary places, such as the local library, in the makers and creator space, getting to know other makers and creators, not that have disabilities, just ordinary people in the community. And she has this amazing circle of neurotypical friends and family, people who choose to spend time with her, to do fun things together, not people who are just paid to be there. And this shift has totally transformed my sister's life. She has a more meaningful life, more meaningful and fulfilling days, and she's much happier. Now, why do these segregated programs still exist? Well, segregated day programs exist because they seem and they feel easy. It's one building, one staff team, everything controlled, somewhere for a person with a disability to be with someone to look over them. They're built for efficiency. They're not built for belonging and meaning and fulfilling days. Professionals often present these options as the only option, and parents accept them because that's what we're told is best. That's what we're told is the only option. And sometimes we're not even presented or aware of the alternative to build an individual or a customized community-based life for our loved one. And if we are, that can feel overwhelming. I get it. I really do. But the segregated path, or that path that maybe feels easier, won't create a meaningful and fulfilling day in life for your loved one. And they deserve that. Now, if your loved one is in one of these segregated settings or in a date program, and what I'm sharing feels uncomfortable to hear, that's okay too. But the next time you visit that program or that setting that's only people with disabilities, I want you to look around and I want you to gently ask yourself, is this what I would want for my life? Is this what a good life looks like? Because being in those segregated environments teaches your loved one that they don't belong. It limits friendship to only people often that are the paid staff, or maybe another person with a disability. But those friendships and relationships can be hard to build because two people with disabilities might not have those relationships skills developed where they can build that relationship with each other. It cuts off opportunities for work. It cuts off the opportunity to grow skills and more independence. It cuts off the opportunity for your loved one to contribute to society. And really importantly, it keeps society's view of people with disabilities as small, as holding low expectations, that not much is possible. Inclusion, on the other hand, teaches belonging. It builds diverse connections. It fuels growth. It gives the opportunities to your loved one and helps them shine in ways that others can see and others can value. So I'm going to give you 3 steps towards real inclusion. If you're wondering how to start, I want to give you 3 steps that are practical. So the first thing is to identify one real interest that your loved one has, and then find an ordinary place where that interest happens in community. Something that's not disability related, but just an ordinary place. It could be yoga, or it could be dance. It could be something, it could be going to the gym. It could be something faith-based or religious-based. It could be a specific interest such as a hobby. It could be something that your loved one has interest in volunteering or work related. Whatever that interest is, follow it. Step number 2 is to find that ordinary place and to visit it. Learn how things work at that place. Notice the culture of the place. Look for ways your loved one could contribute in a valued way in that place. And then step number 3 is to help your loved one enter that place with the right support. This could be you going with your loved one. It could be a paid supporter going with your loved one to help your loved one be a bridge to that valued role and contributing in that place, a bridge to relationships to help other people get to know your loved one in that place and to help your loved one be successful. Now, this change takes courage, it takes patience, but it's worth it because an awesome ordinary life is possible for your loved one. This also doesn't mean if your loved one is in those segregated or special places like a day program, it doesn't mean completely ripping the carpet out from under them and saying you're not going there anymore. It just means how can you invest a small amount of energy and time into the inclusion option, into the ordinary option. If your loved one's going to a day program 5 days a week, how can you take half a day and reallocate the resources to help your loved one explore the ordinary, to find more meaningful opportunities in community. If you want more tools and strategies to help you move towards real inclusion and a more meaningful day to help your loved one contribute in ordinary ways to their community, and to society, to help them build valued roles, I invite you to go below and to download your free copy of the Life Planning 101 guide. It'll help you get started. And I'm Eric Goll. Together, let's take a small step forward.